Hello everyone, welcome to Pepcoding. In this video, we are going to look at the question partition into subsets. Okay, so let's see. In this question, I have two numbers, n and k, right? N is my number of friends and k is my number of teams. And what is required in the question is that I have to take these n friends and I have to divide them in k number of teams, right? And if I do that, I have to print all the count of the ways in which I can divide n friends in k teams. So let's see what the question is actually asking. Let's say I have n is equals to 3, right? And k is equals to 2. Let's say I have this. So my three friends would be, let's say, 1, 2, and 3, right? And I have to divide them in two teams. So how can I divide 1, 2, and 3 in two teams? I can take 1, 2 as a team and then 3 would go alone, right? I can do 1 alone and 2, 3 as a team, or I can do 2 alone and 1, 3 as a team, right? So these three would be my answers. So I would print 3 as an answer here. Okay, I would print 3 as an answer because there are 3 ways in which I can pair 3 in 2 teams. Okay, this would be my answer. Hope you understand this question. Let's take this for n equals to 4. Let's take the example of n equals to 4 and k equals to 3. Okay, let's say I have this example and I have 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Now what I have to do is I have to divide these 4 friends. I have to divide these 4 friends in 3 teams. So what would be my answers for, let's say, I have 1, 2, 3 is a team and then 4, right? I have one team here. So there are 3 teams, right? So this is 1, 2, and 3. So I'm dividing them in teams of 3. So I can also have something like 1, 2. 3 is alone, 4 is alone, right? I can have 1, 2, 3, 4 as a team, right? I can do 1, 4, 2, and 3 as a team, right? So I can do this in multiple ways. And what I have to do is I have to print all the ways, or the count of all the ways in which I can divide n in k teams. Okay, so this is going to be my answer of the question. So let's see how we are going to solve this. Okay, what is going to be my approach for this question and how we are going to use dynamic programming in this question. Okay, so let's take the example of n is 4 and k is 3. Okay, let's use this example only. And for n is 4, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right, these are my 4 friends. And I have to divide them in teams of 3. Okay, so let's say that we are going to do this for every single friend. Right, we are doing this for every single friend. So let's isolate 4 first and let's see what we are going to do with 4. Okay, let's take 4 first. 4 can either go alone. 4 can either go alone or it can pair up with someone. Or not even pair up. Let's say it is going to team up. Right, it is going to team up. Okay, so okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if 4 is going alone, what do we mean by 4 is going to go alone? 4 is going to go alone means that 4 itself is going to be a subset, or 4 itself is going to be one of the teams itself. So if 4 is a team itself, then I have 1, 2, 3 to work with, right? I only have 1, 2, 3 to work with. And if I have 1, 2, 3 to work with, I have to divide them in k minus 1 subsets. Since 4 is already a subset, and I have to divide these 4 numbers in k subsets, and since 4 is already a subset now, then I have to divide 1 to 3 in k minus 1 subsets, right? To totally make up to k subsets. So I have 1 to 3 to work with, and I have to divide them in 2 subsets. So what are we actually doing is that here we are taking 4 alone, and since 4 is alone, I'm saying to n minus 1 friends, n minus 1 friends, that you go and make me k minus 1 subsets. I am going alone, and I'm saying that I'm saying this to n minus 1 subsets, that you go and make me k minus 1 subsets. If you do this, I'll attach myself to the end of it. To make the answer. What do we mean by that? Let's say we are here, right? Since 4 is going alone, I am asking n minus 1 friends. I'm asking 1, 2, and 3 to make me k minus 1 subsets. Let's make k minus 1 subsets of 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I have to divide 1, 2, 3, and 4 into 1, 2, 3 into k minus 1 subsets. And I'm saying that I'll attach myself to the end of it. So if I ask 1, 2, 3 to make myself k minus 1 subset, then what k minus 1 is 2. Then what I would get is 1, 2, and 3, right? I would get a subset like this, or 1, 2, and 3, or 1, 3, and 2, right? These are the 3 subsets that I would get if I ask 1, 2, 3 to divide itself into 2 subsets. Okay, if I say that you have done your job, I've asked n minus 1 friends to divide itself in k minus 1 subsets, and I said that you have done your job. What I'll do next is I'll attach myself to the end of it to complete the k number of sets required. Right? I've attached myself to the end of it to complete the sets which are required. So these are giving me, these are n minus 1 friends, and they're giving me k minus 1 sets, right? They're giving me k minus 1 subsets, and I'm attaching myself to it. And if I attach myself to it, I would get n minus 1 times n minus 1 k minus 1, right? I'm attaching myself to it, and since I'm attaching myself in the same amount of ways, it would be 1 times these ways itself, right? Since 4 is only attaching itself to it once, so my answer would be n minus 1 and k minus 1 for going alone. Okay, if an element decides to go alone, then the answer would be n minus 1 k minus 1. Okay, so this would be my answer. Now, if 4 decides to team up, what would happen if 4 decides to team up? Let's say 4 is deciding to team up, and 4 can team up with any of them, right? But what I'm saying is I'm going to say that 4 is going to team up. You make me. I'm going to ask n minus 1 subset, right? Or n minus friends. I'm going to ask n minus friends. I'm going to ask n minus friends that you make me k sets, right? I'll ask n minus 1 subsets that you make me k sets, and I'll attach myself in k ways. What do we mean by this? Okay, let's see. Let's say I have 4, right? I'm saying that 4 will team up with someone, and I have 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to ask 1, 2, and 3 to make me k sets. K is equals to 3. So 1, 2, and 3 will give me 1, 2, and 3, right? to divide n is equals to 3, right? N is here 3, and I'm saying that you should divide yourself in 3 sets, right? So my only answer would be 1, 2 and 3, where it is all of them are alone. So I have this 1, 2 and 3, and what I'm saying is that I'll attach myself to 1, 2 and 3 in k ways. What do we mean by that is 4 is going to pair itself. 4 is going to pair itself. So we have 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3, something like this. Then 4 is going to pair itself with either 1 like this, or 2 like this, or 3 like this. Okay, what it is doing is it is asking all the n minus 1. These are n minus 1, right? These are my n minus 1 numbers. So it is asking my n minus 1 numbers to give me k subsets, so I can attach myself, to every single one of them, so I can get my total k subsets, right? This would give me my total k subsets, and this is my answer if my k, or if my element decides to team up with someone, right? This might be not as clear. We are going to do this for n equals to 5 and k equals to 3, then it will be more clear. Okay, so let's do this for n equals to 5. Okay, let's take the example of n equals 5 and k equals 3. I have this example, right? Now I have, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 friends. I have these 5 friends. Now let's do this work for 5. For if we do this work for 5, we can do this for every single element, right? So we are doing this work for 5. We are saying that 5 is going to go alone. And if 5 is going to go alone, I am saying that I will ask n minus 1. I will ask n minus 1 friends to divide itself in k minus 1 subsets, so I can attach myself to the end of it. Okay, so I'm going to say to 1, 2, 3 and 4 that you give me k is 3, right? So I'm going to say that you should give me all the ways in which k would be equal to 2. So I want you to divide it yourself in 2 subsets, and all I have you should give me all the ways in which you can divide yourself into 2 subsets. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 can be divided like this: 1, 2, 3 and 4, or 1, 2 is pair 3 and 4, then 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? Or maybe 1, 4 and 2, 3, right? Something like this. So there would be many answers, right? And then what I will say is I am getting these are k minus 1, right? These are k minus 1. This is for k equals to 2, but I have to find for k is equal to 3. So what I was doing was I was asking n minus 1 to divide itself in k minus 1, so I can attach myself to the end of it to give me total of k subsets. And why is this? Why 5 is attaching itself to the end of it? Because I have said that 5 is going alone here. If 5 was pairing up with someone, it is going to be a whole different story. I'm just saying that 5 is going to be alone here, and since 5 is going to be alone here, it is going to be a subset in and of itself. Okay, so 5 is an alone subset, and I'm asking the n minus 1 subsets that you should pair up, or you should team up to give me k minus 1 subsets. Okay, I hope you understand this part. We have now this was for alone. Now I'm going to say that it is going to team up. Okay, now we have 1, 2, 3 and 4, and what I did was I asked here, what I was doing was I was saying that n minus 1 friends would give me k minus 1 subsets, and here I was saying that I'll multiply, or this would be something like you give me all the ways. I'm asking n minus 1 friends to give me all the ways to divide itself in k subsets, and then I'll attach myself in k number of ways. Okay, I was saying this. So here I would have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I'm saying that you should divide yourself in k is equals to 3 ways, right? If 1, 2, and 3 decides to divide itself in 3 ways, I would get something like 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Then 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, then 1, 4, 2, and 3, right? Many ways like this. And I'm saying that 5 will, now I will have all these ways, right? I will have all these ways. Now 5 will attach itself to it in k number of ways because I have k subsets, right? Now 5 can multiply to this, 5 can attach itself to this, 5 can attach itself to this. So for from every single one, I would get 1, 5 or 2, 3, 5, right? So for this only, I would get 1, 5, 2, 3, and 4, or 1, 2, 3, 5, and 4, or 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, right? I can get these things from just this one, right? Similarly for 1, 2, 3, and 4, I can attach 5 to here, I can attach 5 to here, I can attach 5 to here. So 5 is attaching itself in k number of ways for all the ways that it has returned me, right? So this is going to be my answer. I hope you understand this part. This is very crucial to how we are going to solve this question. Now let's try to fill a DP array using this part. Okay, I have this DP array for n equals to 4 and k equals to 3. Right, how are we going to solve this? Let's see. Now this is the number of columns here represented by n, and the number of the rows are represented as k. Okay, so this here represents that for 0 people, I have 0 people right now, and I have to divide them in 0 subsets. Okay, I have n equals 0 and I have to divide them in 0 subsets. So is this possible? No, right? Because I cannot divide 0 people into 0 subsets. So my answer would be 0. Okay. Now I have a single person and I have to divide this one person in 0 subsets. Now can you divide someone in 0 subsets? No, right? You cannot divide people into 0 teams. So my answer would be 0 here. Now I have n equals 2. For 2, can I divide 2 in 0 teams? No, right? I cannot divide 2 people in 0 teams. So answer here would be still 0. Similarly for 3, I cannot divide 3 people in 0 teams. Answer would be 0. 4, I cannot divide 4 people in 0 teams. My answer would be 0. Right? So this would be my answer. So there is a pattern emerging. Let's say for this only, we have 0 people and I have to divide them in one team. I have 0 people and I have to divide them in one team. Can I divide 0 people in one team? I don't have any people to divide, right? So my answer would be still 0. So what I'm getting at is that if my n or my number of people are less than my number of subsets, then I can simply just return 0, right? I can simply just put 0 because I know at that point my answer is going to be 0 because I cannot divide n people, or I cannot divide less number of people if my subsets are more. If I have 2 people and I have to divide them in 3 subsets, can I do this? No, right? I cannot cut one person in half, or I cannot say 1.5 here and 1 here, right? I cannot do that. So I cannot divide 2 people in 3 places. So we are doing the same thing. We are saying that we cannot divide if n is smaller than k. So we are just going to return 0 from here. Okay. Now here we have one person, and I have to divide it in one subset. Can I divide one person in one subset? Yes, I can. Right. So I'm just going to put 1 here. I have 2 people and I have to divide it in one subset. So I have two people, 1 and 2, and I have to divide it in one subset. So there is only one way, that is that they both go in a same team, right? So there is only going to be one way. I have three people and I have to divide it in one subset. So I have three people, 1, 2, and 3, and I have to divide it in one subset. The only way is all of them go in the same team, right? So there is only one way. For 4, right, the same thing, 1, 2, 3, and 4, all of them go in the same team. That's the only way to divide them in one subset. So my answer here would be 1. I hope you're understanding how we are filling the DP table. Okay, now I have 0 people, and can I divide 0 people into 2 subsets? No, right? I cannot divide 0 people into 2 subsets. So my answer would be 0 here. Can I divide 1 people in 2 subsets? Right? I have spaces for 2, but I only have 1 person. Can I do that? No, right? I cannot chop it in half, and I cannot do that. So answer would be 0 here. For 2, I have 2 people and I have 2 seats. Right? So the only way would be to divide them in equal manner. So there is only one way. So we get another condition here, that if n is equals to k, there is only going to be one way. That if n is equals to k, there is only going to be one way, because if I have 3 people and I have 3 spaces, the only way I can divide them is a, b, and c, right? If I have 3 people, let's say a, b, and c, I can only divide them a, b, and c like this only. There is no other way, right? B cannot pair up with a, and then there would be a space left, right? So this would be my answer. Now I have 3 people and I have to divide it in 2 subsets. I have 3 people and I have to divide them in 2 subsets. So I have 1, 2, and 3, and I have 2 subsets, or 2 spaces. So I can do either 1, 2, and 3, or I can do 1, 2, and 3, or I can do 1, 3, and 2. Right? These are the 3 things that I can do. So my answer here would be 3. Right? My answer here would be 3. But can we do this using the formula that we derived? Right? We derived a kind of formula, right? That if it is going alone, then it is n minus 1 k minus 1. And if it is teaming up, then it is n minus 1 and k times k. Right? So we derived this formula. Can we find 3 using the same answer, using the same formula? Let's see. So we were saying that if it is going alone, it would be n minus 1 k minus 1, plus my total answer would be if it is alone and if it is in pair, right? So if it is alone and if it is in pair, then it is, I'm asking n minus 1 people to divide itself in k subsets, and then I'm attaching myself to it in k ways, right? So this is in pair, this is in teams, right? So this is my answer of f of k comma n, something like this, or n comma k. But this is for k comma n, so this would be k minus 1 here and n minus 1 here. Similarly, let's just write it like this only. Okay. So what we are doing is we are checking this for 3 people. So my n is 3 here and my k is equals to 2 here. Okay. So what are if my n for this, if it is going alone, right? If it is going alone, what is my function of n minus 1? N minus 1 is 2 and k minus 1 is 1, right? Function of 2 and 1 plus function of n minus 1 is 2 and k is 2, right? Times, what is my k? K is 2 here. Okay. So what is going to be my answer? What is 2 comma 1? And at 2 comma 1, right? So this is reverse. It is going to be 1 comma 2. So I'm looking at this, right? 1 here. This is 1 plus, and then 2 comma 2. What is 2 comma 2? 2 comma 2 is also 1, right? So it is also 1 times 2, which gives me 1 plus 2, which gives me 3, right? So I'm getting the right answer. So this is a right function, or this is my right approach. Let's write it the correct way. We have reversed it. So this would be, here it would be k minus 1 and n minus 1. Since we are doing this for k comma n, right? This would be k comma n minus 1 and then times k. Okay, so this is for alone, this is for alone, this is for pair. Okay, I hope you understand this part. Now we have filled the DP array, and we are just going to fill it in the same order. So let's see, for 4, right? I have 4 people. I have 4 people and I have to divide, my n is 4 and I have to divide them in k is 2, right? I have to divide them in 2 ways. So what is going to be my answer? Let's see. I'm going to put this in here. My k is a function of 1 and then n minus 1, which gives me 3, right, plus function of k, which is 2, and n minus 1, which is 3 times 2, right? That's all this. Then 1 comma 3, what is 1 comma 3? 1 comma 3 is 1, right? So I'm looking at here, right? 1 comma 3, 1, plus then 2 comma 3, what is 2 comma 3? 2 comma 3 is 3 times 2, right? I'm looking at here, 3 times 2, which is 6, then it would give me 1 plus 6, which is 7. My answer here would be 7, right? So this, in this way, we are going to fill our DP table, and this is the formula that we have derived, that if a person is going alone, let's see the brief summary, that if a person is going alone, then it is asking k n minus 1 people to divide itself in k minus 1 subsets. So I can attach myself to the end of it to make k subsets total, right? And if it is going in pair, I'm asking n minus 1 people to divide itself in k subsets that I'm going to attach to you in k number of ways. Okay, so this in this way we can fill the DP table. So now let's try to code this question. Okay, so let's see. Let's do this full screen. Okay, now let's first write some base cases, that if n is 0 or k is 0 or n is less than k, then I'm going to return 0, because I know that for these cases my answer would be 0 only, right? For if n is 0 or k is 0 or n is less than k, I cannot divide people in half, right? So my answer is going to be 0 there. So I'm just going to return a 0. Now let's make a DP array, right? 0 for j in range, and my j would represent n, and my I would represent k, right? And my answer would be at the end of it. So my answer would be here, right? Because every single cell is representing like what the value or the number of ways, what are the total number of ways, right? Every single cell is representing a total number of ways. And when I'm here, this would represent the total number of ways for n is 4 and k is 3, right? That's what I want. I want that answer, right? So this cell would represent it. So I'm going to take a DP array of n plus 2 and k plus 2. Okay, now for I in range of k plus 1, right? Because I'm DP of I comma j, where I is going for k, right? My I here, this is same as I, this is j. So I here is representing my k and j here is representing n, right? So for I in range and for j in range of n plus 1, now, right, what we are going to do is we are going to check that if j is less than I, right? If j is less than I, or if we have this condition, then I'm going to store 0 in my DP. So DP of I comma j is going to be 0, right? Else if j is equals to I, what happens if j is equals to I? I'm going to store 1, right? I'm going to store 1. So dp of I comma j would be equal to 1, right? And else, if this is all done, then we'll take two answers. Let's say this is answer 1, right? Or let's say this is alone. Let's write this as alone. And if it is going alone, then alone is dp of I minus 1 times j minus 1, right? And if it is if it is in pair or in team, then my answer would be dp of I and j minus 1, right? Because my I is representing n here. I or I is representing n and j is thing k, right? So we have this, and if it is going in alone or if it is going in team, then dp of I comma j would be equal to alone plus team, right? This would be my answer, and I just have to return dp of k comma n, right? This would be my answer. So now let's try to run this. It is giving me a wrong answer. We've written some okay, we have not actually multiplied j here or I here, so we have to multiply I here, right? Because I here is representing n. No, I here is representing k. Actually, I've written wrong. This is k and this is n. Okay, so I is representing k and j is representing n, and that's why I'm multiplying I here, just representing k times dp. Similarly, if it is going alone, then okay, let's run this. It is accepted. Let's submit this code. It is the right answer. So I hope you understand this question. If you don't, I would suggest rewatching the part which you don't understand. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.